What's up? What's up? What's up? Welcome to the first episode of the Casting Couch podcast. It's
Yeah.
about to go down. I'm just super excited to be here. Man, it's been a journey when it comes to film, television, music, everything that you see us here do. And we really just wanted to make this podcast because we wanted to give it to you real and we wanted to give it to you raw. Um, Pause. No, I'm just kidding. We wanted to give you to you real. We wanted to give you raw. We wanted to give really our unfiltered opinion, and then also embark some knowledge on you that we've learned along the way. Because that's really what the whole thing about is to create a safe space where we can come and talk about our projects, and by our I mean us as African Americans, people of color, right? Talk about what we have going on, and hopefully really just elevate the culture. So what I'll do is we're gonna do a round robin. I am going to introduce myself, and then I'm gonna pass it over to my co-host here. So if you don't know about me, I go by the name of Kennedy Scribe Cash Store, right? Started off making music, rapping, and singing. Went from that to directing my own music videos, and then got the acting bug. Went into acting class, and then really was like, "Ooh, I want to get behind the camera." And got into directing feature films, and so now I do a combination of like all those things. So I got my boy Ray and Johnny here, who are producers on pretty much all the new things we have going on and things in the past that we've had going on too. But we both met back in the day at an acting class, and they're really just an example of showing up, showing out, and executing their dreams and their goals. That's what we about here at the Casting Couch. And so we know that typically the name Casting Couch had a negative connotation to it, right? And we gonna talk about it here sometimes, but we wanted to turn it into something that was more positive, right? Something that was, like I said, a space where we could all talk about these things, maybe things that is supposed to be we could talk about it here. So without further ado, I'll pass it along to my co-host. Johnny's to my right, so we'll go to Johnny first. Say what's up.
What it do? What it do? I'm Johnny Crown, and like Kennedy said, I also pretty much share the same type of situation with her. I'm still an artist at heart, and once I moved and around the people that kind of are doing the movie thing, the bug kind of bit me. I love to write. I love to, you know, but I also write books, so which I really have a passion for, like kids' books and stuff like that. That I'm turning into cartoons and stuff like that also. But yeah, I'm more like an amalgamation of all that and more. I'm sorry, this is Reed trying to call me. I'm not lying. All of a
We love
sudden,
our boy Reed. We gonna have white chocolate on here on an episode for sure.
you know what I mean? I don't know if I should pick it or not, but let me continue this conversation. But yeah, and yeah, let's go to Ray. Let's go to Ray, my boy.
Oh yeah, I'm Ray. Ray, have you wanna call me? Writer, producer, actor. Like Kennedy said, we all met in acting class and just been rocking out since then. So just fulfilling this dream of writing and acting and creating your own little way and not depending on Hollywood. So this is what we're about. This is why we're here. We want to do that, have fun, and just bring great content to you guys.
All right. Well, look, we got the crew all here. Let's go ahead and get into it. So, we're gonna start with hot topics. Hot, it's getting hot,
Oh,
hot
it's
off
hot.
the press.
Yeah.
Hot topics.
All
All
Get
right,
to it.
we're gonna kick it off with just softball throw. So recently, Lawrence Robinson, who was an influencer, he's acted in some shows too. It's not to discredit him, but he was known as an influencer first. He joined the major series. It's called The Pit. It's on a major platform, and it's season 2 as a reoccurring guest star. So my question is this, like, how do we feel about social media influencers kind of infiltrating television and film? Do we feel like it's a good thing, bad thing, medium thing? Last time I started with Johnny, so I'm gonna pass it over to Ray. What's your thoughts on it?
Well, as a writer producer, independently, I'm down because it's to a point where you need them. They have their audience. Their audience can go and support and help and a lot of them are dope. A lot of them are dope actors. You know what I mean? Might just be skits right off the top, but off the top sometimes is crazy. You know how you can really get that going. So that's like improv or wilding out. You know what I mean? So that's why you see so many of them. So I'm down. I most definitely support them. I want them to come join us. You know, come rock with us, and that's how I feel about it.
All right,
Yeah.
Johnny, what you got?
Well, honestly, I feel like it's the new way. Most of these people, because you never know where your spark comes from. You know what I'm saying? Like, most of these people, they always was actors too. You know what I mean? They just never had an outlet. And then once these platforms came about, they shined.
Right, they
And
created.
this is part of your calling. And if it's your purpose, it's your purpose. And no matter how it lands on you, and no matter how you're discovered. So I feel like, you know, it's the best thing that's going right now. Influencers becoming
Facts.
successful actors, like a lot of these guys, Drewski. I could go on and it's a list of these guys that really just started online, and they didn't have to necessarily take the path of, you know, the regular actors. But it's a new day, it's a new age, it's a new time, and it calls for new tools and new setups. So with that being said, absolutely, I feel it's a blessing for them. God blesses people in different ways. You can't really take something away from another person because you feel he doesn't have the same or they go your path. You know what I'm saying? And take
Right.
your path. So there are many paths. You know what I'm saying, into the jungle. So yeah,
Nah,
it's
I
a lot.
agree.
Yeah.
Y'all, this is the first episode, so we going with it. While we're not talking, let's try to mute our mic because I think that's what's happening is the feedback. So we can do that, and that'll help. Yeah. Okay. All right. Cool. So I'm in between, right? So from a independent producer standpoint, I feel like it's very much necessary in order for us to have successful projects, right? Because it's getting eyes on your project, right? And whoever has the largest audience is that's what's going to drive. If we look at like an AVOD platform like Tubi, right? Well, you get paid per click essentially, right? How many ads is being shown, that's how much money you make. So you want to put somebody in the film who's going to bring eyes on it. However, I guess quote unquote traditional trained actors, I can see their argument against it because their argument is, well, this person isn't as dope of an actor as me, right? But they might look a little better and they have a better following, right? And so I guess when I'm casting a film, I always yes, I want the best actors. Like my lead actresses, like there's no compromise on that. I feel like you need great acting. But is there an opportunity for somebody who may not be as trained, right? Not bad acting, we're not doing that, but just not as trained to be in a supporting role and pop in and get their feet wet and work their way up, right? If they want to transition over, yeah, I feel like it should be a combination between both. I think a lot of these things are too black and white. And so the thing is, also, these actors got to change their approach because the game has changed. So the game is no longer, I'm going to go to acting class, I'm going to get a dope headshot, and yes, do all those things, right? But it's not just that that's going to get you on the set. So how about you work on building your following? How about you make you some skits? How about you produce your own content, right? And I feel like these actors don't want to do that. They just want to act. But these influencers are willing to build up their fan base to build their own brand. So how are you gonna be mad at them now that they have millions of people just waiting on them to feed them content when you technically have the same opportunity as them? If anything, you might have more opportunity in the acting world because you're a traditional actor, so you know how to audition, you know how to do those things. So I just find it to be something in between. That's where I'm at with it. Something in between. But it's good to hear y'all little hot takes. All right, we'll keep going. We're gonna warm it up. We'll warm it up just a little bit more. All right, so my next one is, y'all know I'm Beehive to the day I die. It's not a game. It's a serious all day, every day, any day. It's Beehive, right? So of course I went to Cowboy Carter. You're looking at the Cowboy Carter what you call it, rodeo queen for show 4 in LA. So this was real life gang right here. God knew I didn't need to be at that last show in Las Vegas because I would have passed out. I would have just, when Destiny Child came out, I just would have just, that would have been me. I would have been out on the floor. But that show was crazy because she brought out Shabuzi. Obviously, she brought out Destiny Child. We don't even need to debate. Yeah, we need the Destiny Child reunion if she so chooses to bless us with that, right? Right? What
Yeah.
did you say, Johnny? You on mute? What you saying?
My mic was off. My fault. I'm saying, and she brought her husband out, the goat to goats, the one and only hoe.
That's what we talking about, right? So, Jay Z came out, which sparked everybody to be like, "Yo, do we need a new Jay album, right? Like, do we need a new Jay album?" So, I'm gonna kick this one off. I feel like, he doesn't need to do anything. He already did it, right? His legacy is cemented in hip hop and whatever it is. Like, do we want? I feel like we always want one. Here's my hot take on what it should be, though, right? If it was up to me, if it was up to me, he
Let's
would do an
go.
entire album about fatherhood. I feel like that's something that could touch millions, especially millions of black men. Talk about the maturity that he's had and how being a father has affected like his outlook of life, right? From start to finish. Like talk about how when he was first a dad versus when he's a dad now, like how he views things. He has daughters, so like, how does he view the way that how does he view about some of the old music that he's made? Like has it changed his perspective? Like I would love to see that. And then my hot take on the tour, because this is me putting my bid in, right? So just bear with me. On the visuals, I feel like what would be fire, right? Is like, so imagine like the big old LED screen behind you, right? But imagine like each setup is a different era. So like every album, right, is a different era in his life. Well, imagine we went from like his childhood bedroom, right? Like we set the stage up like it was his childhood bedroom, and like the background on the LED screen is like what Jay saw as a child, like him walking POV outside. Like that would be crazy, right? And then every album, because his life started to upgrade, right? Like what is he singing like behind him? That would be crazy from start to finish all the way until now. Like that's my little pitch. Anyway,
That's
point is, I feel like we could do a Jay-Z album, and if it just amp it up, and then I want to see dancers, I want to see chiropractors, boom, the tour go crazy with like a whole orchestra and all that. Yeah, that's what I want. So I'll pass it off to Johnny. We'll go to Johnny on this one. What you think?
Well, he said he doesn't really put out records till he has something to say. You know what I mean? That's something that he definitely said. And when you listen to 444 album, that was like a whole manuscript. It taught you a whole lot. Like one thing that I noticed after 444, everybody started fixing their credit and shit. That started a whole new movement of black men taking care of themselves, like learning how to really, you know, fix credit, taking care of yourself economically, financially, getting yourself together, and after that. So his topics, it has to really resonate with the moment. He's just not one of these everybody else just people just throw spaghetti on the wall hoping it sticks. That's what hip hop. That's why hip hop is actually in the sad state that it is right now, because you have to realize that he came from the era of people really had something to say. The people that came before him, like the Rakims and all those dudes, like you had to have something to say. You know what I'm saying? And so he's not going to say nothing if it ain't going to be pertinent and important to the psyche, of us as a people. And I say he should take his time. I think just being able to see him um, have a wife that's super, we've never seen this before. When we look at like history and music, we've never seen nothing that we've seen, with what B is doing, and that happens to be his wife. So it's like they reflection of each other, and they make each other a greater person. So that alone is it's a whole lot, and you know it helps us as a people to see that we can, as a black unit, move. You know, what I mean, the nation and move. You know, and make us. It just makes us look good as a people. You know, and no matter what, you know, because there's so many haters, people always trying to hate on one side or the other, on him or her. This is every day, including our people. Just go in the comment sections, and you know what I'm saying, you'll see people saying the most disrespectful things, and it just makes us look funny. Like we don't even get along with each other. Other people don't do that. I don't. Mexicans don't do that to each other in the comment section. White people don't do that. Indians don't do that to each other. We are the only ones that see that we have these people that represent us, you know what I'm saying, in a good light, and we just tear them down and make them feel as if they're not even doing nothing for us. The whole time they representing us. We're a reflection of each other. You know what I'm saying? And the bigger we get, the better it is for us as a people, because outside of here, when you go into other like countries, even in Africa, what they projected on the screen for everybody is we're just illiterates, bastards. You know what I'm saying? It's like a gamut. You know what I'm saying? It's a long list. So to have people that are kind of holding the torch and making us look good in the media for this long, you got to realize we're talking about this like damn near 30 years. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
for
It's
sure, a long
dope as
time.
hell. You know what I'm saying? It's dope as hell. So I feel as if I'm sure he has a lot to say. You know what I'm saying? You know, his wife is winning right now. Let her win. You know what I'm saying? Let him enjoy that. Let him enjoy his family. You know what I'm
B
saying?
always winning. B never
Oh,
stop winning. We just what Jay Z's always winning too. We would. I'm
Yeah.
just
But
saying,
we can't
if you
wait.
do,
I tell you what, I can't wait. And I bet you when that shit drop, it's gonna be listen, listen.
it's gonna be
Listen,
something. It always is though.
it's gonna be a force to reckon with. I just know that. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
That part. All right, Ray, what you got? How you feel about it?
I want the Black Album Blueprint 2.0 Hove. You know what I'm saying? That's the Hove I want. You know what I mean? I miss that guy. But that's my favorite rapper. You know, when you think about uh, alive, you know, dead. You know, I get Pac and Biggie that y'all did that for the culture. So y'all have that. Y'all like Michael Jordan of this. So it's to a point. Go over there with that. But right now it is Hove. You know what I mean? And he brings a lot and he teaches us a lot in his music. So you can learn a lot, like you say, the 444 album, you know, about I was just talking about that when he was talking about how he didn't buy that spot in Dumbo, how he feel like a Dumbo. You know what I mean? So stuff like that, it's like, and when you go look it up, like what is he actually talking about? He could have spent probably $2 million on that, and now it's worth 100 and some million. You know what I mean? So that's what he meant with all that. Then get your credit right, do this, do that. So he's most definitely teaching as he got older in his rap. So seeing him at this age and with everything he has going on, yes, he most definitely is gonna be a message in it. He's gonna most definitely be a message that can teach us and then teach the younger generation. I wish he would come with something that could just get them guys to slow down a little bit and move a little different, you know. But that's who he is, and hopefully that's what we get out of it. And hopefully he do drop something. And him and B on a tour together, that would be crazy, you know. That would
They
be.
already done did it twice. You missed it 2 times.
yeah, on the run.
It's not that I missed it, but it's just right
He's
now
just
she
saying
on a
another
different.
one.
Yeah,
No, I don't know if we. This is from a Beehive perspective now. I don't know that we need another. I love seeing them pop up on stage. I don't know that we need
yeah,
another
pop up.
full blown tour because we already did it 2 times. I feel like this is the Beehive and me arguing. We need the
Right, right.
DC 3 tour before we get back on the tour with Jay.
Okay.
A
I
Jay-Z
agree though.
album that shit gonna go though. It's gonna
Yeah.
Yeah,
go. Because
yeah.
another thing is with women, like right now, it's so much things that needs to be covered. Like women need like new role models right now. You know what I mean?
Some
We
positive
look. We
role
don't have
model.
the time.
Positive role models
But
because
this
it's
is
not even.
this agrees with my argument though. But I feel like here's what we haven't seen in the evolution of hip hop. We've seen it visually, but we have not seen it on an album where a young rapper, right? Jay-Z started off as a younger rapper, right?
Mhm.
Goes from talking about getting all the women to talking about I'm at home with my wife, right? I'm focused on being a father. Like that's what I feel like that right there is priceless. That's something that black men need to hear, and not just from a book, not just from a motivational speaker, but from somebody like a Jay-Z,
But,
right?
but think about it though. He did say it on the that album, the Carter's album. You know what I'm
He
saying?
said it in songs, but imagine having a whole focus. Like the whole focus be on fatherhood and on marriage and on being a stand-up dude. You see how
I think
that
he's doing
lands?
that. I think he's doing that active wise by us watching them. You know what I mean? I
But
think
you're
that's
proving my
yeah,
point,
yeah,
Johnny. You're
yeah.
literally proving my point. He is doing that by us watching him. But there is power, like just same thing with a film, right? A film lives on for life. We rewatch some films from the 90s
Oh,
over
I
and
feel
over
you.
and over
I'm with
again.
you. I'm 100% with you, and I think I think that's going to be an angle that that's too easy of an angle for him. You know what I mean?
Sometimes
Too
you
easy.
keep KSS, do the easy thing. That is what society needs right now.
Well,
Black
we
men
don't
need
know.
somebody.
We don't know what's in his arsenal. So
Of
we'll
course
see.
not. It's all
It's like,
speculation.
but it's gonna be something positive, something because
I
that's what
agree
he's been
with
doing
that.
his last few
He never
albums.
misses. He never
He
Yeah,
misses.
never misses. Yeah, nah, he never misses.
We talk about something, and I bet you by the time he wants to drop something, it'll be something that we didn't even see that he drops. It's gonna be
Yeah,
even hit
yeah,
harder. Like, oh my god, you know what I'm
right.
saying?
of course.
Yeah, just his conversations and his lightheartedness, his inner childness, it's just so dope. Just being around him and having to hear certain things that he has, his perspective on life is so dope. You know what I'm saying? And so it
Really
makes a
want the
lot of
book.
sense.
I want the album. I want the book. I want that. I want it all so that it's there, and you know what I'm saying, for generations to generations, that they can look back and take his advice. All right, we can talk about J and B forever. Like that could be a whole
Right, right.
podcast. Let us keep going. All right. So next hot topic is going to plie right into our first top five segment. And so recently this week, Tyler Perry teased the Why Did I Get Married 3. And so I guess there was like a social media post between all the cast over the summer talking about like, hey, TP, when we doing this? Because everybody wanted the Why Did I Get Married 3. For me,
Um,
that's probably his best series, right? Like if we look at like the Medea is its own series, right, of films, right? Why Did I Get Married is its own thing. So if I look at the Why Did I Get Married kind of series, I'm like, yeah, I have an appetite for more of that. So how does that land with y'all? You feel like thumbs up, thumbs down? Should we do Why Did I Get Married 3 or nah?
I say most definitely. There's some dope actors in that. It'll be great to get another perspective because he gonna come with some crazy twists and turns and all that in it. So it's like let's see what he come up with. But I'm most definitely down with it. Janet was in there, right? We ain't seen Janet in a minute.
We
Uh,
ain't
yeah,
seen, well, she been on stage, but we ain't seen her in a minute,
yeah,
so it's always good to
right.
see Janet.
Always see
I want
good
to
to
see
see Janet.
that.
Little Penny from Good Times. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I want to see Janet come back. That'd be dope.
See, I feel like
Yeah.
there's some salacious undertone to what y'all saying, but I'm gonna let it slide. Y'all said,
No,
ooh, I want
honestly,
to
to
see
be honest
Janet
with you,
come back.
as a
What
fan,
was her name? Charlene in Different Strokes. Once she
Was she?
Charlene.
No, she was in Good Times. It wasn't in
No,
Different Strokes.
yes, she was.
She was?
Yes,
yeah, she
that
was.
Well,
was
She was.
that was
okay.
Todd Bridges little
I didn't
Thank
watch
you.
Different Strokes, so I guess I'm taking the L. I need to go back and rewatch.
Nah,
What was you gonna say, Johnny?
but nah, I think because I saw a post where he like I think he wrote a letter or something that he was basically like he a script like he was showing
Mhm.
the front of the script, so I'm sure it's done. You know what I mean?
Right,
It's probably
right,
done. It's probably
It's,
done. Yeah,
right,
he's probably shooting already. We just catching the late.
yeah.
He
He shot
done.
it over the weekend.
right. It's done already.
He
It's
done.
done.
He for
You know
sure
what I mean?
done.
So I think it's dope. I think it's dope. I think
Yep,
Tyler's
totally.
another person I feel like that has elevated like black cinema. I don't care what people think about his movies or whatever. I think the fact that he's consistent and he puts a lot of people on. We have people that we know personally that he's like
Yeah,
changed their lives.
right.
So
Yeah.
that's like a blessing, like because a lot of as black people, we got to learn how to help each other. You know what I mean? We don't do that enough, and I feel like he came along and raised people up. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like a lot of us should be able to do that. Like once you get in a position of power to be able to help other people, the service. Like nobody, we not on Earth forever. We ain't rocks and trees and shit. You know what I'm saying? We going, you know what I mean? So
Yeah,
we just gotta like help each other and learn to pass the torch, pass the baton. You know what I'm
mm,
saying? That's what makes us look good in posterity. You know what I'm saying? So I love it. I'm happy for it. And to be honest with you, the whole Janet situation, it's salacious. No, it's for me. It's the fact that I haven't seen her act in a long time.
a long
You know what I'm
time.
saying?
Mhm.
And I don't even think she's put any like musical single out in a long time too. So
Mm-mm.
just to see her come back on screen and see if they will bring her back, but I think she was a very important part of the script too. So I'm sure she's coming back. You know what I'm saying? And I love to see it. I'm happy. Whatever. Honestly, I'm here for whatever Tyler has to put out because at this point, he's part of our life. He's like the like part of the whole the timeline of our life right now. It's
Right.
Tyler's.
He's like an uncle. He's literally
You know
like
what I'm
a
saying?
uncle.
You know
I
what I mean? It's
mean,
like we say to Carters, like they are part of our life, like the timeline
yeah.
of our life. We live, and they are right in within it. Like we wake up and expect, okay, what's happening today from them? You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
Mhm.
at this point, bring it on. Entertain us. There's so much stress in the world. There's so much craziness in the world. And we need. I ain't calling that a distraction, but we just need some type of creativity all the time to boost our morale and boost our soul, the love within our soul, so we can know that we all here for each other. That's how I look at them. I look at them as people that are creating to make us all feel together again. You know what I'm saying? When I speak of these kind of people, like the Tylers, the Beyoncés, the Jay-Z, that's how I look at them. You know what I'm saying? Nothing more, nothing less. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I no, I totally agree. Well, of course I want the movie, but beyond that, I feel like, the Tyler slander, like you said, a lot of it comes from our own community, but who's out there making content on that level on a consistent basis and employing black people but him? How many careers can we talk about that he launched? How many millionaires can we talk about that he's made? And we've literally seen it. We've seen it from nothing to something. We saw it from people bootlegging his plays in the back of the trunk to where he's now a billionaire and owns studios and like all the things that he's
Crazy.
accomplished. So if you want to critique any one piece of his content, right? Mind you, I do feel like there should be a space to where people can have opinions about people's art. That's the whole point, is having an opinion.
Right.
But there's different between having an opinion and trying to knock somebody down. Because if we look at what he's made with the amount of resources or funding that he's been given compared to his white counterparts, like it's not even close. He's
Mm-hmm.
beyond turning like lemonade out of lemons.
Mm-hmm.
And his white counterparts would be given, I don't even know, quadruple the budget to do what he's done in the same amount of time. And and so that's what people don't understand who are not in production. So I'm glad we can kind of like take that wall down, that it's a lot more going on behind the scenes. And of course, look, is there the occasional cut that needed to be out in one of the episodes or something? Yeah, but like it's fine. It's perfectly fine. the audience knows the experience that they're getting. It's just like when you watch a Medea movie, you kind of have an expectation of what this film is going to be, what you're going to get from it. You're not looking for a Meryl Streep performance. That's not what the film is written to do, right? It's made for you to laugh, have a good time, enjoy some stories. This is a perfect segue though, because he has such a huge catalog of films. I figure we go ahead and segue into our first top five segment, and we talk about something that this is almost like fighting words right here. Top five, top five Tyler Perry movies. Top five, top five. So, you know what? I'm not gonna kick it off. I'm gonna let Ray kick it off. Top five TV movies. What you put in your top five? You on mute? What you say? You still on mute? Let me see if I can unmute you. There we go.
My
There we
bad.
go. Gotcha.
Now, do we have to? Do they have to be in order or?
You could just top five. What's in the top five?
All right, I had to go look it up a little bit because names like that. One that really got me that I was like, dang, I didn't even think he did it, and I was halfway in. I think I was doing something, and I started watching it was a Jazz Man's Blues. That was dope.
Mm.
That was one of the first ones. I was like, holy shit, you know what I mean? Like he in his bag with this one, and then he came with the six triple eight. That was with the black female pilots and shit. So I was like, okay, like
Yeah, that was hard.
this yeah. So I'm not going for all the most popular ones because those are the ones that really made me, look at him differently as that writer. Like, okay, he can go this route. Now it gets into like some more of the popular one. For Color Girls, another one. I like the dramas of taking you here, taking you there. Having emotion. I'm a man, but hey, man, you can watch a movie and have one of them moments. So I don't mind. So he most definitely did that for me with those. I probably have to go with Why Did I Get Married? I don't know which one though, because I want to add something else. So I just leave that little series right there as one and two together with that, and probably at the time I really liked it was a lot of films that was coming out about fathers. So that Daddy's Little Girl was kind of dope to me as well. You know what I'm saying? I'm not talking TV shows because we're talking movies right now, but those five really was some films that kind of did some Tyler Perry. I was like, okay, it just wasn't his Medea or his other little comedies and stuff like that. He reached outside what he was normally doing and built and brought in a whole different audience. You know what I mean? So with those movies, I'm like, okay, TP, you know what I mean? You that guy, no matter whatever you do. They're mine.
All
They're mine.
right. I like y'all top five. All right. I like you, Ray. We gonna see what Johnny got. What do you
That's
think is hitting
dope.
for Johnny?
For me, can we go like old school too? Like his old like.
Anything. It's your top five. It's subjective. So whatever
So,
you want.
so I like
For
a fall
sure.
from grace. Uh, a fall from grace. Did you say that? Did you say Daddy's little girl too?
Yeah, I did say
Yeah,
Daddy's
he
Little.
Yeah.
did.
So I said Daddy's little girl. I'll say Diary of a Mad Black Woman was dope to me. I
That's
enjoyed
tough.
it.
Was tough. Yeah, that's dope. I like.
I will say also was it called Acrimony? Was it Acrimony?
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
acrimony. Yeah,
I
that's
like
tough. That's tough.
yeah, I like
that was with
Acrimony.
Taraji, right?
With Taraji,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah,
like
yeah.
honestly, I like Taraji in any of his things, but that's a whole nother conversation. You know what I'm saying? And I like that. I like the family that prays.
Yeah, I was like, y'all sleeping. Y'all wouldn't say that. Y'all sleeping.
Family that prays was dope to me. I like good deeds.
All
That's
right,
why I
you at
like
six. Look, that was good.
that's
That
why
look,
I
that's
like
a bonus. Yeah.
So
good deeds.
five.
Good deeds. Yeah,
Right. No, okay, so mine are The Family That Prays. It from start to finish, that film was cold. And then look
yeah,
at the cast. Raji, Alfred Woodward,
yeah,
Kathy Bates is in it. Like
Yeah.
that Sanaya
yeah,
Lathan,
yeah.
cold. That movie is cold from start to finish. All right. Then I'm gonna put it might be like 2A, 2B, which is six triple eight Jasmine Blues. Like those gotta be in there. Um and then Daddy's Little Girls for sure. Daddy's Little Girls is classic. Then I'm gonna put Good Deeds in his top five. Well, one because that's Tawny Newton Cole, right? And then I feel like quality wise, if you look at like the lighting, the cinematography, the storyline from start to finish, we saw another another side of Tyler as an actor, like a softer side. I feel like that was interesting, so I'll put those in my top five. But yeah, see, that's fighting. You know, that's fighting topics
Top
in
three.
black community. This is my TV is tough.
Sure is.
Shop, you gonna get cut.
Top five TP is tough. All right, that's our top five segment. So in the future, we're gonna talk about it. Could be top five of an actor. It could be top five albums. Like it's gonna be
Okay.
wide open, but we'll hit a top five every single time. Let's move over to the next segment. And so we'll go through these pretty brief. Just wanted to introduce it as a concept. So if you guys have anybody that you know or anybody's projects that you want to nominate moving forward, then go ahead and nominate them. But we'll just talk about it all as one segment. Movie of the week, song of the week, and then rising star of the week. So rising star could be an actor or a songwriter or a singer. Obviously, movie's a movie, and then song could be something that's in a film. It could be not in a film. So of course we're gonna do our first episode based off of our project. Why wouldn't we? Shameless plug. Shameless plug. Lovely, lovely plug. I'm gonna go ahead and introduce talking about 24 hours. And I'm glad we got Ray on here. We gonna tap in with Ray for a second, but
Yes.
24 hours is really exactly what it sounds like. There's a crisis that happens within 24 hours, and it's led by Delano Young. I'm so happy we had him as our lead. So he's our rising star that we're going to go ahead and showcase for a second. So go ahead and get to Googling the brother. Follow him on
Yes.
Instagram. So if you guys are familiar with the movie Air, right, which was kind of the Michael Jordan biopic that was in 2023 with Ben Affleck and Viola Davis and all the hitters, he portrayed Michael Jordan in that film. So that's kind of was his plie onto the scene, and then from there, he's really just been hitting it in our film and several other films, whether it's athletic films or just acting. He's just super talented. So we wanted to showcase him as our rising star of the week. And let's get into the gist of 24 hours. I'll talk about the music and then we're going to talk about the writing because we got our boy right here.
Yeah.
So typically in the majority of the films that I'm like directing or shooting, I do all the original songs. So when I went in and I was writing the songs for 24 hours, I really wanted to have kind of like a real male energy. Even though I'm a female and I rap, right? There's just like a certain kind of like ugh that you can give a song. And so I was channeling my inner Rick Ross, my inner Jay Z, and then I wanted it to have this like this trap kind of bounce. So when you listen to the soundtrack, you'll probably feel that energy because I was like, that's kind of like that young, nitty gritty street, just kind of that vibe. And I feel like the film has that vibe too. And I wanted to feel like something I could work out to. I guess in songs that inspire me would be like Hustle Hard by Ace Hood, the remix. Like that's a song I work out to all the time. Same old, just a different day. Like it has that just that knock and that bounce, and it just makes you want to move. And so when I was doing the song 24 Hours, and some of the other songs on the soundtrack, I had that energy in mind when I was writing. I said I want people to be able be in the theater at home, just nodding their head and rocking. And I always feel like for me, the songs, whether I'm in the film or not, right, it's almost like another character. Like that's how I approach it. It's another character in the movie. It's almost like I'm omnipresent in the movie because you'll hear my voice throughout the film. And I want it to feel like it's this other character that you're experiencing as you're experiencing the film. And what I love about making music for film is just like as an artist, oh, well, what is this gonna be for? That's the question they always ask you. Well, how you using this? And like for me, it eliminates that because I know exactly what scene I'm writing it for, like how it's going to be perceived, all of that, because it's written for a scene in a story in a film. So that's my concept behind 24 hours for the music. Let's go ahead and segue over to our boy Ray so we can just talk about the story and the process, man. Ray is like, yeah, when I say he showed up and showed out for this script, I just want to give him his flowers for doing his thing. It was a
Appreciate
process where he pushed himself. May have doubted himself for a little smidgen, and I said, nah, we got this. But I'll pass it over to Ray. You can go ahead and talk about whatever you want about the writing of 24 Hours.
Yeah, the writing was, crazy. Just coming up with a story that it's real and it's for everyone. So the basically the storyline of where I started was we knew I knew it was going to be a one and done. So he go to school, get in trouble, and come back home. Now everybody that moved away from home or went away from home and came back home, and your friend, your cousin, or whoever you hung out with was still doing the same stuff they was doing before you left, and you went on and started doing something different, and your path was different, and you're like, nah, I'm not doing that no more. But when you get back home and they still doing it, you find yourself right in the middle of it with them, and that's where the storyline started because it happens to everybody. Athletes going away to college, move away, and come back home and visit family, and it always happens. So when I got that, really the basics of that, it was kind of easy for me to. I'm gonna say easy. I don't want to say easy. It was kind of gave me a segue into getting into how to write the story,
Mm.
and it was just all about having a strong person there for him, which ended up being Coach Chris, which that was in my life, and I'm quite sure every athlete that had that coach or trainer or mentor in their life that always had them going in the right direction, but you had the friend that was pulling you in the wrong direction. And so that was that. And then with moms, you got to put something in there to kind of make people feel, you got to have that twist in there. And mom's being sick was kind of it, and that was a segue for him to, okay, I'll go out here and get some bread for mom, and I'll have to do this, make sure my little brother good, so he had to grow up real fast, but it was only for 24 hours. But in them 24 hours, he had to grow up and kind of make some things happen for the house. So and that's how that really came about. And of course, I had to jump in and take the powerful character of Coach Chris and be that voice and that mentor. Um, so that's what it was all about with that. And then I kind of wanted to give it because when we first talked about it, it was like a love and basketball type vibe, and I kind of wanted to like, okay, let's do that. Watching it, do I wish I would have gave like another scene or two with them playing basketball? Yes, but trying to get through the story and just give those 24 hours, it wasn't that. I even thought about, is it another one of it, to kind of push forward with those two characters. So I don't know. I kind of was brainstorming, haven't talked about it with my producer partner and nothing like that. But
I
so
love how
that
you throw another film on me on live.
like, hey, because I'm getting so much feedback with that about that those two and just how they chemistry was. And it's crazy because those two, I think, met on our set, but they had been on other sets after that
Mm.
since. You know what I mean? So it's like, wow, they kind of met or they worked together once before or something like that. But then they started to really work together on other sets after that. So it was kind of like, okay, what we doing right here is really, pushing people forward and then seeing each other on other sets, which was great. But that was the logistics of 24 hours. Just giving us something that people can really relate to, and then giving them something that was like, oh man, you kind of took them on a whirlwind of, oh man, moms. I hope moms get through it. Oh my God, they over here robbing people. Oh, what's going on? How's this going to end? What is Darnell going to be able to make it? To his practice, and then in the end, you got to go watch it. You can see how it ends up, and there it is, 24 hours.
I just wanted to say, like I said, congrats to Ray really for showing up, doing the work. I don't even know what film this was. It was the fourth or fifth film we had done, and I really challenged him. I said, "Hey, I got to write this film. I need you to write this other film because we finna be shooting." And he was like, "And then what amount of time?" I said, "Look, you're gonna do this amount of pages every day. This is how you gonna get here." And he stuck to it, and he did. So it really is just a testament of his growth as an actor, as a writer, as a producer, everything. So I'm just super happy to have you as a producing partner for real.
Thank
That
you.
film, we learned so much. Look, so many things we would do again, so many things we wouldn't do again. Like, and that's what I feel like. That's what any project that you do, you're gonna have a bunch of takeaways. What I remember about that time in my life is being very pregnant. I think I was going into my second, like I was either in my second trimester, yeah,
Yeah.
and I just remember feeling big, but we did it. I That was the most I sat down in my life.
Yeah.
Um, and it was something just a very special experience. So everybody go check out
I
24
hope I
Hours.
hope
It's
y'all
a
gave
great.
that baby co-producer credits too in that joint.
I should have, and I did it. I didn't give my. I could go back. I'll add it. I'm the mama. I'm gonna add it.
Yeah, but check out 24 Hours on Tubi. You already know.
Yeah,
Yes,
definitely
it's lit.
check it out. I appreciate it. So yeah, if you guys have anybody, thank you for watching. Obviously, if you have anybody you want to nominate for movie of the week, song of the week, or spotlight on the artists, upcoming artists, make sure you guys reach out to us either directly or via our website, which is the castingcouchpodcast.com. So all right, let's keep going. Two more segments. Unfortunately, this past week, we had a passing of a giant. Really, somebody who meant so much to not just the entertainment community, but just to like Black people and people like worldwide. And it's just a tragedy about our brother Malcolm Jamal Warner passed away, and it was an unfortunate, if you don't know, it was an unfortunate incident. And I will say this from a parental perspective, to hear the story about how he held his daughter up in the air, literally in the water, until the surfer came and rescued his daughter. We talking about to the last breath. That's just a whole nother type of love that we send in prayers and well wishes and everything to the family, but at least to his daughter, I hope that when she grows up she'll know that her daddy loved her to infinity and beyond,
Yes.
because that is just the testimony of love. And I feel like if anything, that's what he represented, was love, was
Yeah,
positivity, was
yeah,
unconditional love that he gave us. He was an actor, he was a poet, he was an artist of some sort too as well, in a
yeah. He
band, I
played the he
believe.
played the bass or something. Yeah, he was dope.
Yep. He was dope, and honestly, we know him from Cosby Show and beyond. He's had way more
Theo,
acting things, yeah. But Theo is obviously his most famous,
yeah,
and so I figured we could take the time to reflect on his passing, but also just on Cosby Show and how that impacted us in the world. I feel like if I'll start and then I'll bounce to you guys. If I When I think about the Cosby Show, I think of several things: career starting. I think of Black positivity. Probably one of the first, not the only, first shows where you really saw Black excellence. They were a doctor and a lawyer and
hmm
upper middle class family. and we saw just positivity and a good example of what that could look like. Obviously, if we look at what happens after, I think people have to remember that these people are actors, right? So you're playing a character. We can still love the work, right? In the show and what the show meant to us, and detached from what the person did. I think that is still a possibility. And if I look at Theo's character in particular, he was everybody's brother, and we got to see him literally grow up, him and his character grow up right before our eyes over those several seasons. So I'll pass it off to Johnny first, and then we'll go to Ray.
Yeah, I just, for me, when I look at certain black people like that are in the limelight all the time, the ones that I really revere and respect the most are the ones that cause no trouble. You know what I mean? Like when I mean trouble, like they not bringing distraction to, you know what I'm saying, to the media in one way or the other. They have like this dope ass clean image, and it ain't. That's just who they are and their personalities. You know what I'm saying? The minute you see them, they come up. You like can't wait to hear what they have to offer, what they have to give, because you know it's gonna be of light and of love. And I feel like Rapper Jamal Warner was one of those kind of guys. Like you never heard nothing crazy bad, like about him or his nature or nothing. You just saw love, And then going back to watching, what I mean, all the stuff that he was like certain shows he was on, like I'm talking about like talk shows and stuff like that. Like I'm watching all the old ones that came on. Like, I think it was which one was it? It was probably Arsenio Hall or something. I was watching one of those, but he came on and just the energy that he emitted, like it was just so fly for a black man because we don't. Back to what I keep saying, like the image that has been portrayed of us in the media is of not even 1% of who we are. You know what I'm saying? The majority of us is we dope individuals. We very stand up, hardworking, intelligent men. And he was a representative. You know what I'm saying? He stood for that ideal black man that, is loved by all. You know what I'm saying? And there's many of us out there. And so it's just so sad to see a human being like that, you know, leave us and transition. But I believe death is just a new chapter. I don't believe it's the end to anything. You know what I mean? That's why we still have his. He's immortal to us. We can go watch his movies. We're still talking about him, and it's like he'd never leave us. He's always here, and to at least be a role model for those coming up, like us and many others behind us. So he did. He did. You know, and I don't know if you guys watched one of his last. I think it was an Instagram post or probably TikTok posted. He said the damn thing, man. He was basically inspiring others like, yo, life is life, you know what I'm saying, and but do what you can for the next person to be happy. You know what I'm saying, even if it's a smile, whatever you can do. You know what I'm saying. That was one of his last posts. I'm not. This is not verbatim, but it's in the aura of it. You know what I'm saying, of what he was speaking of. So, but it just speaks to the person he was, and you know what he left, the legacy he left behind. And I feel like a lot of black men, this is what we should look at and say, okay, I want to be like this person in my own way. You know what I'm saying? And he's forever in our hearts.
R.I.P. Ray, what you got?
Yeah, so around the pandemic, when it happened, we stuck in and happened to come across the Cosby Show series collection. So you're not going nowhere. So I just binge watched it, man, and all day, every day, just dying laughing, loving it. And his character on there was just so strong because we watched him grow. We watched him grow up. We watched them all grow up. But we watched him grow up and just can't get over. I saw it maybe he was still alive. It was just going around on Instagram. I think Vanessa might have made the shirt, the one with the
No, the shirt is crazy. This is
Yes.
this.
That's the crazy, and it was to a point where it's like you watch it over and over and over. It's so hilarious, and that like you said, that's who he was, just that person. You know, he went off on his sister. It was written, but you can still see it in him. Great acting, but it was just that, and that was his personality. Like I think he was sitting in a car when he gave that message.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I saw that as well. And so, just somebody that's have a beautiful spirit, you know what I mean, and was willing to just give to all he knew, give all knowledge. A lot of people don't share knowledge. A lot of people don't want live like that. So he most definitely touched, our lives and everything, and then just to get onto the Cosby Show a little bit is like, Claire Huxtable is America's mom. You know what I mean? Like that's America's mom. So this is one of the greatest, TV series, black TV series, even just all
Ain't this
together too.
greatest series? That's one of the greatest series of all time.
Of all time. So it most definitely brought us a lot of great peoples, kicked off a lot of careers. So yeah, most definitely. He was a good brother, man.
Well, speaking of wisdom, it's time for us to wrap up our first episode. Can you believe we did the first episode?
That's
Yeah,
one.
first one,
Oh yeah.
first, first of many. You know
First
what
of
I'm talking
many.
about?
Let's go.
First of many.
Go.
We're gonna end each episode with a segment called OG Wisdom. So whatever gem that you got off the top of your head that you want to give to somebody else, we are. It's crazy to think I'm an OG now, but we gonna go
Right.
with it. I guess
Oh,
I'm
let's
30, I'm
do it. Yeah.
engaged, and I got a baby. I'm an OG now.
Right. Right.
All right, we gonna do OG Wisdom. We started with Johnny last time, so we start with Ray. Start with Ray, go to Johnny, then go to me. So Ray, what you got?
Yeah. Never give up on your dreams. Always, keep pushing forward, keep trying. It may be not your time right now, but when your time comes, just be ready. And so just stay with it. Always believe in yourself. Always believe you can do it. Just keep pushing forward. Like never give up. That's one thing I'm living by right now. It's making me go a little harder, making me make changes in my life. What was I doing that I need to stop, push away, so I can put more focus into writing, because the feedback I'm getting just from, I haven't got the major feedback yet, but I'm just getting feedback from family, friends, people that watch stuff like that, and it's like, all right, it's time to really buckle up and get on this plane ride. I'm the pilot, and it's up to me from here. So just keep pushing, believe in yourself, never give up. It's never too late. Keep going.
Nice. Mine is let your soul speak through you. You know, whatever it is, like, because your soul has joy, it has intelligence, it has just so many, like, it has the love that you need in your creativity. So you just have to let it infuse, your mind with those things and those qualities, and experience that before you, express yourself via your creativity. And I think it's better to be able to allow your soul to give you, like, yeah, the honest you, the authentic self you, um, and just don't make like crazy rational decisions when you being trying to be creative, because that's not what we're here for. We're here to serve a purpose, and I feel you just have to bring it to your soul and let it make the right decisions for you, because it's where your wisdom lies, and communicate that message to the world.
Love that. I'm gonna leave you with two things. One, if it's not in writing, it isn't so. Now, this is something that's just great for business. If it ain't in writing, it ain't so. So, y'all write it down. If somebody got an issue with it being written down, then that's not somebody you don't want to do no business with. And Ray, Johnny, everybody will tell you if they were like, "Hey, yo, let's do an agreement for this," blah blah. I'm like, "Yeah, hell yeah, let's do it." Why? Because I want to be held accountable for my actions. I want all parties to be held accountable for their actions, but not just that. It's clarity. Documentation beats conversation, so everybody knows what it is they're supposed to do. And just for all the young people, if you ever encounter anybody who doesn't want to document the things that they say they're going to do for you, run the opposite direction. Right? So that's Gym 1. Gym 2, I'm going to say, is do the work and the money will manifest itself. So I'll say it again for the people in the back. Do the work and the money will manifest itself. Even me, right? Like people say I'm established, which thank you for all that. Speak that over my life. At the same time, there are still times. Hell, Tyler Perry would say he's still waiting on checks, right? So you have to do the work. You have to write the script or work out or go to class or whatever it is for you. Write the album, do the work, and then the money will manifest itself. I think you really need to fall in love with the process, fall in love with making the thing, and be so obsessed with making that thing amazing, to the point of where you're not or you're not making bad decisions because you're in lack of money. So that's also operating as if we could do a whole segment about that. But that's going to be our OG wisdom for the day. We appreciate you joining us on the casting couch. We are
Yeah,
your co hosts. We had the boy Johnny Crown up in here. We had City Kid Ray up in here.
yeah,
Kennedy Scribe Castor right here. And one thing we're going to be is we're going
yeah.
to be consistent. We're going to keep showing up and we're going to keep getting better. So continue to grow with us as we grow.
We
We
will.
love y'all. We out.
We out.